What up, y'all? Welcome back to I'm Just Saying Sports. Today, I want to talk about Zion Williamson and this report that came out that members of the training staff of the New Orleans Pelicans have been trying to tell him to watch his cardio and watch his diet, because he's just kind of getting bloated, he's getting out of shape, and he's been ignoring them. For this video, I'm going to have to get back to my plastic cup sports days. I've upgraded. It's no longer a plastic cup, but I'm going to have to get back into it, man. So, first and foremost, Zion never wanted to be with the New Orleans Pelicans. This is obvious. If you go back to the lottery, not the draft, but the lottery, when the New Orleans Pelicans got the first pick, you saw the excitement of the organization, but you also saw the disappointment and the salty-ass Zion Williamson. He was so salty that he was going to New Orleans. Ever since then, he has never given them a fair shot. I get it. It's the NBA or professional sports in general. You really don't get an option of where you go unless you pull like an Eli Manning or something like that. But typically, you don't get an option of where you get drafted. You just kind of go where you fit. So Zion is salty. And that has reared its ugly head throughout his tenure in New Orleans. Instead of him saying, yo, let me give them a fair shot. Let me see what they can do. If it's not working, we can sit down and, try to get me moves or something like that. He just has not done that, apparently. It just don't seem like he's done it. Regardless if he did or not in the background, it just don't seem like he did it. So, let's go through it. Zion had Teresa Weatherspoon, the great Teresa Weatherspoon from the WNBA, New York Liberty, had her there as like his support system. Wasn't enough. It didn't work. Nothing happened. Nothing changed. He went damn near the whole season without playing. Okay, New Orleans saw that wasn't working. They got rid of her. I mean, not got rid of her, but you know what I'm saying? Just kind of let her go because what they bought her in for didn't help. He didn't have a lot of supporting cast. He didn't really have a good, role players or whatever. They bring in Brandon Ingram, who's been balling, who has been balling. They also bring in CJ McCollum, a vet, player association president, all of that stuff. Vet, very smart, very mature, know what it takes. I mean, even though he hasn't won, but all right, he's a vet. And he's a good player. Like, he's a solid player. He was the number 2 to Dame. We all know that. Not enough. When CJ McCollum got to New Orleans, he said Zion never even reached out to him. When CJ McCollum got to New Orleans, like, I say about a month or so, maybe a few months, like, soon after he got there, he spoke up about Zion not playing, not putting in the work, not wanting to be with the team. He saw it. Zion has been acting like a toddler who never got his way. And he's just been crying and pouting about it ever since he's been drafted. Now, if you know me, you know I am pro player empowerment all day long. I stand for it. You know what I'm saying? Because as a player, these owners are making a lot of money off y'all backs. So, you need to have some rights in it too. You need to have some say in maybe where you go, maybe how much you get paid, different things like that that'll make you comfortable, because at the end of the day, it's your work environment as well. And it's for the better players, it's their legacy. So I'm all for players having some type of control on what goes on in their career. But this right here, nah. Nah, I can't stand for that. I can't stand for somebody who don't get an organization an opportunity to show them that, hey, man, this could be a good fit for you. I can't stand for a guy who goes out and just sits out and said he's physically perfectly fine. Now, mental health, I struggle with it at times myself. Just being fully transparent, I struggle with it at times myself. But for you to just not play and just give up and say, hey, I'm physically fine, but I'm just not Zion. And you didn't play like pretty much the whole season. And you leaving your teammates out on stuck. That's whack. I can't stand next to that. For you, Zion, to ignore your training staff and ignore everybody who's been saying, yo, since you was at Duke, since you was finna come out, hey man, he need to get a better diet. He need to get on his cardio. He need to, watch his weight because he don't want to balloon up because, your body starts deteriorating, just starts tearing down because of how you play the game. You play it above the rim. You're super athletic. But you ignoring them? You're ignoring the whole world that's telling you the same thing. Hey, bro, you might want to slim down a bit. You saw what LeBron did. He slimmed down. You saw what Melo did toward the end of his career. He slimmed down, and it extended their careers because it's not enough. It's not all that pressure on their bones and their joints and all of that stuff. But you're not listening. You know why? Because you're not playing, and you know you're not playing. You don't want to play for New Orleans, and that's cool if you don't want to. I'm not. That's not the problem. It's how you're carrying yourself. That's the problem. That's the problem that everybody says, like, yo, what is this dude doing? Like, Zion went from the top prospect to nobody gives a fuck. I'm just going to be honest with you. People are so fucking annoyed with Zion Williamson. It's ridiculous. So this is my message to Zion. Please, I'm saying this not necessarily out of love because I don't know you, but I'm on your side. Again, I'm pro player empowerment. Dude, you got to be professional, man. You got to handle things the right way. If you don't want to be there, cool. You work that out behind the scenes. But the way you're going about it now, even if you don't want to be there, you want to get traded somewhere, who's going to trade for you? Because at the end of the day, yeah, they can find trade partners, but New Orleans has to get a maximum return. And the way you're going about it is they're not going to get they're not going to get no type of return. Because you're out of shape, you're mentally fragile, and you don't care. So who's going to give up a lot for you? Which means New Orleans is going to hold on to you as long as they can ride it out. Your best bet is to go ahead, get yourself in shape, go ball out, be the Zion that we think you can be, and if you want to get out of there, maximize your trade value. Then get up out of there. Go to where you want to go. If you want to go to New York to link back up with RJ, cool. I'm sure they'll do so. I'm sure New Orleans will work out something. Take all New York's picks in the future and maybe a couple of players. But at the end of the day, man, you gotta do what's right, man, because it's not a one-way street. You know what I'm saying? Player empowerment is not a one-way street. Y'all are partners. You and the organization are partners, so y'all gotta work together. It has to make sense for both sides. It's business. This is not, I'm gonna cry my way out of a situation. That don't work in the big boy league. So Zion, please tighten up, get yourself right. Obviously, work on your mental because that's the most important thing. But at the end of the day, you got to get right, bro. I'm sorry. You got to get right. I mean, I'm not here to coddle you or none of that. As a man, you got to get right, bro. And I know it's hard. I know you probably going through a lot, your personal life or whatever, all the reports and all the rumors and all of that stuff. I get it. But you got to get right, man. You got to get right. You got too much talent, too much potential. And you mean too much to too many people that's around you. And I already know that. So get yourself right, man. Tighten up, man. And I wish the best for you, man. But you got to get right, bro. You have to, man, because you on the verge of nobody giving a fuck about Zion in a minute, man. I'm serious, man. You got these new young boys coming up. Anthony Edwards, Halliburton, De'Aaron Fox, Luka, obviously. Like, that's supposed to be you. So get it together, man. I'm out. Peace.